You got to wear certain kind of shoes, certain kind of clothes during certain kind of weather. And so it's the same with our relationships with one another.
I told you.
Excuse
Go
me.
and get me Tosi.
Excuse me.
You are not going anywhere.
Girl.
You are not going anywhere.
All right.
You are not going anywhere.
Excuse me.
Go and get me Tosi. You are not going anywhere.
I'm not gonna call 911.
Call
Because I
911.
will call the police on you.
Call the police for what?
You can't keep me hostage. I'm a grown ass woman. I'm not gonna thank you. Get her. No, get her. Get her. Get her. Get her. Get her. I am leaving your home. I'm leaving home. Can you excuse me? I don't need help. Not from you. Not from you. You're so. Move. Don't. She's not getting you my daughter. Who are you? You can't have my daughter. Call 911 because if not, she gonna end up on the ground. I promise you. I'm not gonna.
It's by now no secret that African parents abroad are actually struggling with raising kids. From infants up to adult children, the challenges keeps getting bigger and harder. But what are some of the root causes of the challenges that we are having with relationships between us and our children? And this is my opinion. Feel free to leave yours down in the comment section. And just remember, I always ask that you be respectful because the topics I discuss here are family related. They are matters dear to the heart of other people. And we just use them as case studies that we can learn from so that we can either improve on what we've done or what we are doing currently. Today, we're going to take a look at a classic story that recently stormed the internet. This is Ifeanyi. She's a Nigerian. According to her story, she migrated to the US. I think she said she was around 2 or 3 years old when they came to the States. And she has 2 other siblings, according to her. She's the oldest. Her mom has raised them as a single mom. Dad left them when they were kids. And if you want to follow that up, I'll leave her link down in the description. You can go and check about that. Let me first address us as parents. African parents immigrating to the United States, Canada, Europe, or wherever you find yourself. I first want to urge you, and this could be kind of triggering for some people who don't have an open mind and not willing to accept or to learn new things. It could be triggering, so let me give this first as a warning. But if you are somebody who want to improve your relationship with your family, with your children, with even your spouse, I would say I encourage you to listen to this video to the end. For us, finding ourselves in a different society, I will first urge us that as we come into these societies and we learn to adapt to these systems, we open ourselves up to learning new things when it comes to finding a job, when it comes to how we live and relate to the people around us, even the people we work for. We should also be able to put in that same time to learn to relate to the people that God has given to us. Be it your children, be it your husband, your wife, your sisters, your brothers, your mom, your dad, just whoever it is. In as much as you can put in that time to know that, oh yeah, I'm in a new environment. I need to learn to not talk to people the same or not dress the same way, because you know that in these Western societies, they have summer, winter, and 4 seasons. You know, you can't be wearing the clothes you wear during summertime. You can't wear them during winter time, right? So if you are willing to adapt to that change, where you have to go when it's winter time, you have to go and spend money and buy some clothes for winter. You have to dress according to the season because you find yourself in a new place. Whereas back home in Africa, well, we can choose to wear whatever we want because we have very beautiful weather. So we wear whatever we want to wear all through the year. But for here, you got to wear certain kind of shoes, certain kind of clothes during certain kind of weather. And so it's the same with our relationships with one another. We need to be open to learning how to improve our relationship with our children, with our spouses, with our family members also. That's one thing I would encourage us as parents. If we're to stay and raise children in this society where we find ourselves, the society that has already condemned our form of discipline as something unacceptable and cruel and harsh and however, but yet we find ourselves eager to come over here, right? Yet we find ourselves eager to bring our children over here. So that means we have to learn to adapt to the new culture, the new society, the new form of discipline that we find ourselves in. Adaptability on learning some of those things that we learn, the way that we were brought up, the discipline that we got them in our society, our African society. It was good for our culture, it was good for our time. Now we find ourselves in a different culture. We came running over here. Remember now, we wanted to come to these societies, right? So, in as much as we saw these things and think they were all good, and we were running to come over here to enjoy them, this too comes with it. Remember, it's a whole package. It comes with it. So I hope we be open after watching this video to learning the new form of discipline, that you sit down, that you listen to the kid, even if they're screaming at the top of your head, even if they're insulting you, even if they're trying to hit you, just sit there as the parent, listen to them. You can't say anything bad, because then you become a narcissist, right? You become a toxic parent. So we also have to learn to adapt to that. Two, I would say to us parents, if you're a single parent, listening to what this girl, she chose to turn on the camera and record herself and displaying and record her mom and everything and send it on the internet, right? She posted that. So we got to know, we got now to see the inside of it. But this is happening a lot. In a lot of homes, in a lot of families, it's happening. If you're a single mom or a single dad raising a kid, be careful what you say to that kid, what you instill in their heads about the other parent who is absent. Because remember, you are the one raising them. You're struggling to bring them up. You're trying to discipline them. That other parent he's somewhere out there, or she's somewhere out there having fun, right? But at the end of the day, whatever you said, whatever you did, thinking you were doing this in their interest, in their favor, you are going to become that black sheep. Because no matter what you do, that child is going to still bond with the other parent that's out of their life. So why would you, for any reason in this world, want to be the one who will be the ugly person in the end? Because like the old people say, blood is thicker than water, right? There's nothing you can do about that. That's their blood. That's their family. No matter how many years they deserted them, no matter how many struggles you went through to raise them, at the end of the day, all that would not count. Especially if that absent parent comes and start to play the guilty parent syndrome, that guilty parent card, if they come and start to play it, where they come in all of the sudden, because you were trying to discipline this child to make them a good person for their own tomorrow, that absent parent is going to come from nowhere when they become an adult and say, oh, you see, that's because of this thing. That's the reason I left your parent, because they used to do this, they used to do that. That's the same thing they were doing to you. That's the same thing they're doing to you. Now, that's how you're going to be painted as the black sheep. They already know that that child has that emptiness of the other parent. They're missing it. They're craving that other parent. So the day they ever choose to surface, they come with that. Remember now, they got to come with their story, the same way you've been making up your stories over all these years. They too have been making up their own story that they're going to show up with one day, someday. So then in their story, the same way you were the hero, they too want to be the hero. In their story, he or she too wants to be the hero. So they're coming to play that card. And remember, this is a young mind that you both are messing with. So this person does not have the maturity to actually read between the lines. They will not realize that at the moment, because they're craving that parent that was missing. They want someone to fill that void. And so whatever story that parent tried to give them, oh yes, they take that and they run with it. Some of them even stop the child from seeing the parent, or the other parent from seeing the child. You're making that child to develop that form of bitterness that's going to spill over to you, to that absent parent, to their children, and to whatever relationship they have in the future. That bitterness is going to spread. And this is what I see in this video. Listening to the young lady's interview, she had an interview with, I think his name is Daddy Freeze. I listened to that. And I even listened to one of her videos where she's actually telling somebody that she has a very cordial relationship with her dad. Her dad is a nice person. He loves her. And this mother struggled all these years raising them. Whatever she told them about the dad, whether she told them he was a mean man, he was a cruel man, he was wicked to her, but today, that dad is her hero. He's the best person. Even though he's all the way in Nigeria, she's 25 years old. He left since she was a kid. But now all of a sudden, he's her hero. And her mom is the devil. She's a narcissist. She's toxic. This is why I want us all to be careful, to be very mindful of the things we say when we're raising these children, the way we treat them. We more like treat them like they are the problem instead of the product of the problem that we created. Because if you look at this, the way we raise children as single parents, we raise them telling them that, oh, if it wasn't because of you, I would have been in this position. Or if it wasn't because of you, my life would be better. If it wasn't because of you, I would have done this. I could have done this, but because of you, I couldn't do this. Because of you, I couldn't achieve this. I couldn't do this. My friends are going ahead in life. They're doing this, they're doing that, but I'm here struggling to raise you guys all by myself. I'm here doing everything by myself. And these words make people feel like they're unwanted. Like they've caused so much problem for you in your life that you don't want them around. You don't need them. It develops resentment inside of them. And there they go looking for love in any place and from anyone. So we need to be careful what we say to them, how we treat them, because they are not the problem. Actually, it is the reverse. We are the problem because we went and created that situation that they are a product of. We went and followed that man who impregnated us and we had them. And now all of a sudden, we want to blame it on them. They're not the problem. We created the problem. They're only the results of what we did. But because we do not want to hold ourselves responsible, it's easier to just shift the blame on somebody else, right? Isn't that an easy thing? It makes you feel better when you just get somebody else to just blame for everything. That way you don't have to take responsibility. It makes life so much easier. It makes you feel good. You don't have to blame yourself for your mistakes. You don't have to hold yourself accountable for anything. You don't have to make a change. There's a lot of things you can get away with once you shift the blame on somebody else. And a lot of us, that's what we do, raising kids as single parents. That's what we do. Let's learn to listen. Let's learn to love a new way. Let's learn to raise these children up not as our problem, but as the product of the problems that we created. Our duty is to guide them. And when they are of age, it's better to take a step back. Let them captain their own ship. Wherever they fail, whenever they fail, if we can be of helping hand, let's be of helping hand. And when we cannot, or when we choose not to, when you know the conditions are not favorable for you, don't force it. Because tomorrow, this is what they're going to blame on you. Even though you might see it as trying to help them, they will see it as you trying to overstep your bounds, as you not realizing the boundaries, as you not recognizing them as adults. So let's learn to recognize the boundaries, to respect their boundaries when they are adults, even though they came for help. But let's help them when we can, and let's remember that we still need to treat them as adults. And on to you, the children.